Hello, everyone. My name is Mohammed Yacoub, and I am an assistant teaching professor at Florida International University. The title of my presentation is Addressing the Missing and the Weak, Students' Hopes and Dreams for Their Communities. And it is about a project that I do in my online writing community course. Okay, so let's get started. So in this presentation, I am going to share an assignment in my online writing and community course. That's the name of the course. Students were to find something missing or weak in the community. In a community they are affiliated in, they have interest, or they have interest, in. They don't have to be members of that community, although I always say to them that it's better to write about communities, which they are members. But I said, if you are not a member of any community, and that's the case of some students, then you can just write about a community that you are interested in, or maybe one day you will be a member of. So I argue in this presentation that it is important in a community writing course to encourage students and let them critique and problematize their communities, to look for the weaknesses and the things that their communities are missing, so that they can add to it, they can improve it. So this assignment is the third of a series of 4 major assignments, because in my course there are some minor assignments like weekly discussions and videos that they watch and respond to, readings that they read and critique, and then there are 4 major assignments. So in the first major assignments, students read about a community that they are engaged in or interested in, and then they write about. In the second major assignment, it's a research-based assignment, so your students use primary and secondary data, and they write about their select communities. And in the primary data section of the project, they get to interview members of the community. They get to ask them questions about the activities that their community does, and then in this third major assignment, it's an action-based assignment. So the first one was get to know the community, even if you are a member of it. The second one was research-based assignment, and then the third one is action-based. So in this one, students get to propose an action based on their understanding of the community. However, since this course was in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, they did not have to execute their proposed action. I didn't ask them to carry that out. What I asked them to do was just to, make that initiative, to make that proposal, the things that they the things that they think they can do maybe sometime in the future, the things that they think their communities need to do. So, and always students ask questions. They ask for examples. They say, okay, well, can you give me an example, like what you're looking for? And I always say, well, it's not me looking for something. It's all about you. So don't think of me when you do the assignments. I want you to think of your community. I want you to think of yourself as part of that community, a current part or maybe part in the future, But anyways, I do give them examples. I say, well, for example, if you think that your community is not known to many people, so you can propose something here, for example, to create a social media page or a website so that more people get to know your community. Another example, I say, maybe your community does not have a constitution, so you feel it would be a good idea to create a constitution for the organization or for the community. I say, as another example, maybe your organization marginalizes one or more genders, so you can propose, um, an action in which you uh, call for, more inclusive policies for the community. You can include other genders. Another example, I say maybe your community exists only online, so you're proposing an idea to establish a physical location for the organization or for the community. And sometimes we use organization and community as synonyms in the course, in the context of this course. Also, I say, as another example, maybe your organization goes through several issues and problems, so you're proposing practical solutions. Another one I gave them, I said, maybe your organization receives a lot of criticism and resistance, so you can write ways to respond to criticism to mitigate such resistance. Okay, and now I am going to share with you some of the submissions, the responses that I got from my students. So a student of mine wrote about Black Lives Matter movement, and she thought that it could be a great idea if Black Lives movement is included in the syllabus for all school years. She said, quote, the school board and even teachers would need to recognize the advantage of implementing BLM knowledge in school courses or schedules. Whether the school is predominantly Black or white, both can benefit from the conversation and knowledge. So she thought that it's a good idea that all students, regardless of their school year, should know about the BLM. Another student, she wrote about the National Coalition for Homeless Organization. She noticed that this is not widely known for or in the States, so she proposed, an idea. She wanted it to be known for more people, to more people. So she said the National Coalition for the Homeless Organization should create a social media page which advertises the things that they do for the community, for our community. Okay, more examples. Someone wrote about the Little Free Library at the university. So he wrote, we are currently working into fruition with the hopes of seeing a little free library at FIU. FIU again is Florida International University, where I teach, before all three of us graduate in spring 2021. So he was talking about what he is doing with two of his colleagues. So he said we created a step plan to logistically map out its creation, which was great. Another student wrote that the current clergy in the House of Representatives, clergy in the House of Representatives and the Senate is made up of straight, white, and older men that have no like mind or openness in order to make the change necessary in this day and age. So she wanted to see more of the younger generation in the Senate. Okay, so some students talked about their communities, saying that they don't use technology, and they proposed actions and ideas so that their communities could benefit from the emerging technology. Other students wrote about diversity in their communities. They felt that their communities are not diverse, and they proposed ways to diversify them. Some students wrote about the struggles that their communities go through, such as the financial struggles. They came up with interesting ways and ideas to help those communities do fundraising. It was interesting. It was a moment for me to learn more about students' communities, needs, struggles, and it was a great, moment also for students to know about each other, because this assignment or this project went through more than one step. There was a first draft in which students had to write their ideas, like a rough draft. They submitted it. They received feedback from me, and then they had to go through two peer review rounds. Okay, they had to give their assignments to two peers, and they received feedback from two peers. They also gave feedback to two peers. And also they had to visit the writing center, and then finally they submitted the final draft of the assignment. So here I'm going to give you an example of the writing center visit. I created a template or like a table, and I gave it to them, and I said, well, use this table for your writing center visit. So there are 4 columns in the table. The first one, the time they visited the writing center, topics planned to cover and why, and then topics actually covered their negotiation. For the topics planned to cover before the visit, I wanted them to have a plan of what they want to talk about with the tutor, in the writing center. Did they want the tutor to look at the grammar, structure, organization, flow, citation, argumentation of their project, or what? So I wanted them to plan ahead. And then the third column is about the topics that they actually covered. They said, now, well, after your visit is finished, now what did you actually discuss? Did you discuss the things that you planned you wanted to discuss, or did you end up discussing something else that probably the tutor thought was, more important, or what? What exactly did you discuss? And then the last one is about negotiation. I asked them questions like, did you take into consideration all the tutor's suggestions, or did you disagree with him or her? I wanted them to develop a sense of a critical understanding of their own project and of the criticism that they receive from readers, and then how to negotiate such critique and criticism and comments. Okay, so in the conclusion, I think community writing courses are great, that they connect students to their communities. I think that assignments or projects in community courses should aim at empowering students, not only in the course, but in the community too. My own students felt some power when they interviewed members of the communities. They felt the importance of listening to what those members had to say and to propose change. Well, thank you for watching and listening to me. I'm open to any suggestions or questions, and have a great day.